mark what?
Concussions may be the most overlooked sports injury today, but also the most frequent, and they can also be dangerous if not handled properly. The CDC reveals 1.6 to 3 million concussions happen each year in sports, and this is according to the Sports Concussion Institute. After you've had one concussion, you are 1 to 2 times more prone to get a second one, and which each additional blow to the head, your chances keep increasing until on your after your third one, your fourth one, you are 7 to 8 times more prone to get one. After being in sports and playing hockey, I've become well aware of the problem, as concussions are very common, and this is since the athletic training and equipment keeps advancing, and this is becoming a larger problem today. Since this has been such a huge issue in the past few years, committees have rose up and been created that have been dedicated to these problems, and more serious long-term effects of concussions have been revealed as this topic is being revisited. I'm going to inform you about what a concussion is, the statistics, the causes, what is being done, and then also the symptoms behind them. A concussion is the most common type of brain injury. What is a concussion? It is caused by a sudden blow to the head or indirect impact to the body, causing a loss of brain function. This is since the brain is caused to shake in the skull and sometimes scrape against the inside of the skull. And this causes a rapid increase of swelling. The most common symptoms after a concussion are headaches and dizziness, according to the Sports Concussion Institute. Other symptoms include passing out, loss of memory, confusion, not being able to concentrate, lightheadedness, or nausea. 47% of athletes report not having any symptoms after a concussion, and for this reason, most go undiagnosed. In football and hockey alone, the actual number of concussions is 6 to 7 times more than the ones that have been reported. Concussions are becoming one of the top and most significant topics in sports today, and especially in professional sports. More policies are being formed, and some of the first policies have been formed in just the past few years. The NHL has the oldest policy, which began in 1997. The NFL created their first policy in 2007, with the NBA and Major League Baseball just creating theirs 2 years ago. The NHL and NFL are two sports where concussions are becoming one of the top and most significant topics. Both leagues have recently joined with committees and neuropsychology institutions to discuss head injuries and take more action towards these. The advancement of training and gear is making concussions more and more common. And this is because shoulder pads in the NFL, especially, and in hockey, are becoming so much bigger, and all the pads are becoming bigger, so these are causing more harder hits on impact, and the training is becoming so much more advanced that players are becoming bigger and faster than they ever had been before. In hockey, the NHL had added helmets in the 70s to create concussions. Now, goalie helmets are made out of Kevlar to prevent head injuries, and also player helmets have been created and been made even bigger and more prone to take hard impacts.
Why are you holding that up?
She's recording.
Sorry.
So now all hockey helmets have expiration dates on them, which has been recent. So helmets that expire after a certain number of years, then you have to throw them away and get new ones. And this is for the policies that have been created, and they all have to be tested to meet certain requirements to go out on the shelves for public use. As of 2011, all four major North American sports leagues have created national-wide concussion policies, and this is according to ESPN, which are constantly being studied and being changed as new information comes in. What is being done? New committees have been formed in each of the leagues, and the leagues have associations. The NHL is considered one of the highest contact in the country and have placed emphasis on concussions for the longest out of any league. The NHL and the NHL Players Committee have created a joint concussion working group. In 2009, the NHL partnered with the National Academy of Neuropsychology and created an educational video, and this video was for all areas of the sport and game that went for all the trainers, general managers, parents, coaches, and the youth, and even for NHL players. Blindside hits have been banned in the NHL, but not head contact has not been banned, and this is because the commissioner says that they celebrate the hit and it is a part of the game, so they want to keep it in there. A new protocol was set after the GM's meeting in 2011, which created the same rules for semi-pro and minor league teams, and then even trickled down into youth amateur levels, and banned checking for 11 to 12-year-olds, and this happened just 2 years ago. A new rule in the NHL is that players have to be examined in the locker room, or they call it the quiet room, by a trainer after showing symptoms, whereas before they would just be examined by a trainer on the bench and then sent back into play, usually, even after showing symptoms. In 2007, the NFL created its first set of guidelines for return to play concussions. In August 2009, NFL executives and lawmakers joined at the House Judiciary Committee to discuss the effects of head injuries. And in the NFL, this has become a big issue with lawyers siding with players and lawmakers, and even suing the NFL for head injuries and concussions and problems that have risen after players have retired. New guidelines followed, stating that a player could not return to practice or the game after showing symptoms of a concussion, whereas before they were only allowed not to play if they were knocked out or went unconscious. If they showed symptoms, they were still allowed to play, which most players would go back in and play. And so now they have to be evaluated by a neurologist and a team trainer. In 2010, the NFL began to crack down on helmet-to-helmet hits and ban these and suspend players and give out hefty fines for these. Now that you are aware of the topic of concussions in sports and how it is becoming one of the top and most significant topics, there have been more serious long-term effects of concussions that have been revealed as the topic has been revisited. The likelihood of getting a concussion is great, even greater in certain sports like hockey and football. After you have had your first concussion, your chances keep increasing with each additional blow to the head and each additional concussion. Now that you know what concussion is, the symptoms, statistics, causes, and what is being done to resolve this problem, next time you are showing these symptoms, there's a great chance that you may have a concussion. Concussions can be very dangerous if not handled properly, and most go undiagnosed.